this video, I'm going to cover the steps on how to successfully germinate lavender and a cost-effective soil recipe to get you started. Stay tuned until the end of the video to learn about the lighting, soil, watering, and caring for your lavender plants as they grow season after season. The secret to germinating lavender seeds with the highest success rate is through the process of stratification, which is a pre-germination technique subjecting the seeds to a freeze and thaw period to simulate winter. To stratify your seeds, place a wet paper towel on a plate. The towel should be thoroughly wet, but drain any excessive water. Next, open a new packet of seeds and spread the seeds apart from one another on top of the paper towel. Next, you'll insert the plate into a Ziploc bag, sealing the bag and placing it into the refrigerator in a place that will not be disturbed for the next 30 to 40 days. After 30 to 40 days, it's time to start germinating. Take the plate from the refrigerator and place it in a warm, sunny window. Some of my seeds started germinating as soon as 1 to 2 days. Others took as long as 2 weeks, or even longer. Germination may depend on the age of the seed and the species of lavender. Next, let's talk about soil and get these sprouts planted. Our lavender soil mix will contain 1 part perlite, 1 part sand, and 1 part potting soil. The perlite I was able to find at Lowe's for under $4.50. A 50-pound bag of sand was under $2.50, and your garden soil is around $2 to $3, depending on what kind you get and the time of season. I'm going to place my cups that I found from Dollar Tree on a black plastic tray for transportation. And I also have a hand shovel and a bucket for mixing and measuring parts. We're about to mix our last part of perlite. Go ahead and put it in. And now we need to mix it with the shovel. We're going to fill each of our little cups and set them in the tray. We're going to fill it to the line. Now in this mixture, the perlite and the sand are great for drainage. If you want to add another part, you can add another part compost to give these some nutrients. Lavender does not like too much nutrition and too much water. It's a Mediterranean plant, so we want a little bit drier soil, but we do want to keep our seedlings nice and moist here at the beginning for the next 8 to 12 weeks. Okay, we're still filling cups. Fill the cup. So I was able to fill 28 cups so far with 2 times mixing up soil using the cottage cheese container. And I've got my germinated seeds. Within about a day or 2 of taking them out of the fridge from being in there 30 days, I already had a few of them sprouting, and now they've been in the windowsill for 10 days. So I'm going to take them out of the bag. These are the cups I was using from Dollar Tree. Whenever I started these, I did 2 types of lavender seeds. On the left, I did English lavender, and on the right, I had true lavender. Both of them I purchased new at the same time, and after germinating, after putting them in the fridge for the 30 days, I've got a way higher germination rate on the English lavender, and I'm not sure yet if I'm going to keep these separated throughout the process of growing them, but I just wanted to see which one took off faster. So the English lavender definitely had a way higher germination rate. Using a tool or just your fingers, I'm going to gently pick these up and transfer them to their soil cups. I'm just ever so gently covering the roots and making sure they're still standing. You can tell by how they're growing towards the light where the stem and the root are, so you got to pull these up very carefully. You probably want to do these within 5 to 10 days so the roots don't get too ingrained in their paper towel. And you want to gently remove the entire sprout and its root and gently tuck it into the soil and lightly cover. Wanted to try to show you on this. You can see where the stem and the root kind of form a bit of an angle. You want to bury the entire root and try to not bury any of the stem. Depending on where you're doing this, I'm going to keep my plate of seeds lightly misted as I'm working in the heat. Keep them moist. And after we've got all of our cups planted, I'm doing 2 to 3 per cup. You could do 1 per cup. It really depends on how many you've got germinated, how many cups and soil you have for materials. So I'm going to go with 2 to 3, and these will likely need separated as they get larger. So I'm going to mist all of these to keep the roots nice and moist. Now that I've got these all transferred to their little pots, I've sprayed them all and made sure they're good and soaked, and I'm going to wrap them with some plastic wrap to help keep that moisture in while they're small. You want to make sure after you've potted them and sprayed them that they're still standing upright. Some of them are going to be a little bit weaker, but make sure their tops are still up and standing towards the light so they can continue to grow. Otherwise, if they're in the soil, they're going to be less likely to make it. So try to just gently prop them up. Now I've got these all covered with plastic wrap, and I'm going to keep them in a sunny spot so they can continue getting a good light. And I'm just going to continue to monitor the moisture level over the days. Here's an overview of lavender care. Lavender needs full sunlight and well-drained soil. The soil should be low to moderately fertile with a neutral to alkaline pH, around 7. You can add eggshells while preparing the soil, which add alkalinity as they degrade. You can also add lime. Lavender grows 1 to 3 feet tall and wide. It's a shrub and doesn't require staking. Once established, lavender is drought tolerant and doesn't require frequent watering. Overwatering is a common stress factor. Lavender does not need much fertilizer once it's established. Before transplanting outside, it's a good idea to set the plants outside in their cups to harden off and get used to the weather.